I suppose you can't hear me. How about that? I need to turn that down just a little bit. There we go. Sorry about that. Um, Welcome again. Uh, it's Friday and it is time to paint. As you can see, I have four of the same paintings here. And you're like, oh, that's not really, well, number one, it's not that good of a painting necessarily yet. But this is a stretch canvas. And then what I've done is I've put some acrylic black on it. And I've done it four times. And there's a reason for that. I am going to paint the same four tree, but I'm going to do this with each different season. So, without further ado, let's start with a little bit of spring, shall we? Alrighty. Get this a little closer. Still can't hear me? Is there a problem? Can anyone else hear me? Oh, okay, yeah. You may need to turn me up. I'm sorry. But anyway, I guess other people can hear me. As you can see here, I've got my palette is normal. I've got some titanium white, got some midnight black, Van Dyke brown. Some days I forget which colors I put on here. Burnt umber, cobalt blue, phthalo blue, alizarin crimson, olive green, sap green. I have a little bit of permanent red. There we go. So I just figured it out. A little bit of permanent red though. If I put too much permanent red on here, you're just gonna set this whole thing on fire, but just a little bit. I got a little cadmium light red, yellow ochre, Indian yellow, and then some cadmium yellow light hue. From there, we need to start off. Well, as many people know, I do a technique or a way of doing oil paint where you start off with your canvas completely wet. It is a wet on wet technique, is what it's been referred to. There's other people, obviously, there's the most famous being Bob Ross, that have showcased this technique. But thankfully, it doesn't just belong to one person, and we can all do it as well. What I'm putting on here is a very, very thin layer of a very thin, clear coat. And I want it to make it really, really thin, but still wet. To be honest, this is mostly just linseed oil and some proprietary ingredients here and there. But it is just basically painting oil. One thing to watch out for this kind of oil, though, is that it can be flammable. I hope everyone's day's doing pretty good today. Everyone's had a good week, I hope. Anything big happened this week for anybody? There we are. All right. I'm going to keep this aside because we're going to be using this for every single one of these paintings. All right, let us start here with a little bit of what this guy. It's a little bit too bright on that. See if we can take that down just a little bit. Oh, you got a Christmas tree. That's pretty cool. Yeah, we kind of haven't decided whether or not we're going to put up a tree yet this year. Usually our kids do it, but they really haven't been around that much, so. Alrighty, I'm going to start with a little bit of this cobalt blue here. Mixed in with a little of the phthalo blue. Now I want to be nice and light with this because color really is going to show up with this clear back. Oh, you got a real one this year? We're just going to go ahead and put a crisscross pattern back here. I'll put a little color down here too. We crisscross up here to give it a little bit of randomness. Alrighty, and then what we're going to do is we're going to come over again. We're going to thin this out a bit. Let's go ahead and blend it a bit here and here. Now this acrylic is a little bit of acrylic gesso that I put on, but if all you have is just regular black acrylic, then that can work too. It's really good for putting in some backgrounds. All right, we got to start to our, what will be our sky. That is true. Do what feels right for you, after all. I have a little screen underneath me here, in which I run this brush up and down. See if we can get most of it in there. There we are. And I can run this brush up and down. It is one of the ways that you can really quickly clean a brush when it comes to oil paints. Alrighty, I'm going to take a 1-inch brush here. And I am going to grab a little bit of this titanium white. Now, titanium white is opaque, which means you cannot see through it that well. As opposed to these blues, what I put up here, the phthalo blue is very transparent. You can see right through it. But the cobalt blue, that is semi-transparent. So it's a little bit of both translucent and transparent at the same time. I still don't like how bright this is. Let's turn this down just a little bit more. You know what? Nothing I can do about that. Oh well. Let us go ahead and start putting in some clouds up here. Just using the edge of my brush here. Need a little bit more of the titanium white here. And notice I'm going to start covering up my tree. Don't worry, it's in the foreground. It'll come out. All right, a little bit more of this white. Not going to worry too much about these clouds underneath here. There we go. A little fluffiness over here. A little bit more white. All right. And we're going to go back to this brush that we had, that we were doing the blue with. And we'll just kind of blend in the bottom. Just with the corner of the brush. Remember, the more pressure that you put in, the more it's going to blend in. Okay, and we don't want to do the tops of our clouds because that's where the fluffiness is, right? Okay, what we can do is we will lift these clouds up just like so. Just kind of grab it with the corner and you lift it up. And then go over like this and we can smooth it out. Getting rid of those brush strokes. And this is sometimes 2 to 3 layers of paint on here, as you can see right here. Just kind of dragging that excess paint up. So I'm just going to lift it up there. And there we go. And there we go. It's a little bit of our sky done there. Now, I think what we may need, so I'm going to grab another one of these 1-inch brushes. We need to do just a middle distance here. We're not going to put too much in the background as the tree is kind of the center focus. But it doesn't mean that we can't put a little bit of this sap green in here. Maybe just a little bit of that. Ooh, that might be a little bit too much. There we are. Some of the midnight black in. So, just going to take this over here. We're going to give it just give it a little tree line back here. I really didn't have that much to do this week. If you've tuned in with me before, oh good, we've received our Christmas card we were waiting on. That's awesome. For those of you that have been in here before, you know that I do stream from my full-time job. I am an EMT, so there are times where I need to go and I may have a call. So if I suddenly have to end the stream, everyone should know why. Okay, a little bit more black now. A little bit more than that too. All right. There we go. Giving the illusion here. A little bit of depth. Remember, don't kill all the light with your dark. There we are. Okay. Now, do believe it is time to start on our main focus here, which is of course the tree with the leaves at the top, and then of course what goes in on underneath in here. So we are going to start. This right here is Van Dyke Brown. This is Burnt Umber. This is of course Midnight Black. Just gonna mix these three together, and we're going to say hello to that big old tree trunk that we have started with here. All right. Actually, I think I'm going to need quite a bit more of this. So we're going to do a little mixing. We got a little bit of this black, quite a bit of this Van Dyke Brown, quite a bit of this Burnt Umber. We're going to grab all three of these and we're going to start just mixing them together. Now you can do this with acrylic paint too, with some success. The thing with acrylic is that it dries so quickly. And I do paint with acrylic too, obviously. I mean, I painted these all with acrylic to start off with. There we are. You know, I might need to take that down just a little bit. It is quite a bit more than what I'm looking for. Ah, that would be cool if you got yours too there, Shy. All right. Get that off of there. Probably just grab all the stuff off of here. Okay. I'll wipe this. This is called a knife. So I'm just going to clean that off real quick. I don't know why Streamlabs did that. I have tried to remove it. Can someone please time out Streamlabs? I have tried to remove it from my stream. I obviously have not figured out it completely yet. So if one of my mods could please just time that out, that would be great. Thank you. No, it still shouldn't be misbehaving like that. I have not told it. I've told it not to do that. So anyway, moving on. Get this down here. Get a nice brown trunk going on. Okay. Okay. Going out this way here. I did see that Nixie Strix was in here a little earlier. She may still be here. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'm glad that you were finally able to catch my stream. Get some down over here and up this way. Hey, how's it going? All right. Now, Well, that's nice base for a tree, wouldn't you say? Let us do a little bit more here. Okay, get a little bit of this going on here. This going on too. Got this going on here. Now this is just a fan brush is what I'm using here. Okay, get a little bit of this going on here. Now I'm not needing to be a little bit that careful with this particular one when it comes to painting them a little bit too thick here and there. Because a lot of this we're going to end up covering up. You'll see what I mean. There. Just getting it started up here. All right. So, approximations, true. Dixie Strick says painting is difficult because you can't see what you're doing at the beginning. At the beginning is affecting the ending. It's all just guesses. Oh my goodness. Some days I just can't read, I think. You'd never guess I went to school and took English. All right. We need to put in an edge for the light. So we're going to take this knife again. We're going to take a little bit of this titanium white. We're going to mix it in with a little bit of this black color. So we're just taking this, and we're basically just taking the hue up a little bit.
What sound is this?
Need a little bit more of this here. Then we're just going to mush that kind of together. Now what we'll do is we'll just take just a little bead. There we are. Just a little bead of it on the end. Right there on the end. What we can do then is we can, on this side, and pull. A little bit more. Put it on the edge. And just pull. Remember which way your light is coming from. So now I know the light is coming from this side. About 60 miles. So if you tried to make the light come from the other side now, your eyes would be sitting there going like, I don't think so. There's something wrong here. Because your eyes know. When it comes to painting, remember we're dealing with a 2D plane. So trying to create a 3D illusion. So it would be up on this side, wouldn't it? Trying to create a 3D illusion with a 2D plane is quite difficult to do. All right. Now that we've got that highlight on the tree here, we need to define that just a little bit better. There. See, it's nice because if you can get your paint to break as it moves over. Oh, well, thank you. Thank you, Hun, for the 100 bits. Thank you very much. For those that don't know, Fidget 2012 is my wife. Obviously, she's got to be crazy because she decided to marry me, but you know, this is this and that is that, right? All right. We need to put in just a little bit of backdrop for here. So I am going to take some more of this black color, and I'm going to do it very sparingly. And I am going to start just filling in some background here. As we know, the springtime, the springtime, they're not going to have that much. It's mostly going to be buds. Take with that what you will. It's mostly going to be buds. Maybe just a little bit of a start, depending on which kind of tree that you're looking at. I think I need a different color than what I put down here. I need this right here. This, a little bit of mauve, kind of a deep purple. So if I take this deep purple, I'm gonna take my knife again. Take a little bit of this mauve. I'm gonna take a little bit of this titanium white, and that will turn this dark purple to this nice, almost lavender. Ooh. There we go. Take another 1-inch brush, since that's what we're using. Just wipe this knife off real quick. We'll grab this here. Now, just a little bit on the end here, because remember, there is it's springtime. There we are. Take a little bit of the darker tones here too. You throw that in too. Oh, there we are. Take a little bit of the white, and then ooh, yeah. Now, if you just put it in all random, you won't like the result. You gotta go ahead and really pay attention to your angles here. Like, is this a branch up here? It'd make more sense if they had there. But not too thick because it is the springtime, right? There we are. See if we can see it a little bit better there. Because that is where all of the looks like light is there. Get a little bit more of this mauve. So I'd like to add a little bit more here and there. Or use your lights and your darks. A little bit more of the darker. There. So, not too bad. Now we just have to work on this bottom base here. What do we do down here? Well, we are going to put in some grass. And maybe some bushes too. Now, I'm going to take this and I'm just going to bring this paint down. Nice thing about oil paint is that it takes a long time for this stuff to dry. Weeks, in fact, to proper dry. And because of that, we can go ahead and we move it around the canvas as we use our paintbrush. We move it to the left and we can move it to the right. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of this phthalo blue right here and mix it in with some Cadian yellow. What we're going to get here is a nice, interesting green color. I also have a little bit of olive green here, yellow, Indian yellow. Okay, we're going to mix this up nice and good. And we're going to take a little bit of this titanium white. Okay. It gives us a little bit of, well, it looks like a little bit of like a mint color. I wonder if I didn't want to go a little bit more this way with it. A little bit of yellow ochre. A little bit of, ooh, I said a little bit, this midnight black. Midnight black is a little bit of a cheater because if you go and put a little bit of the titanium white into the midnight black, not the ivory black, but the midnight black, it's a bit of a cheat because it's actually not black black. It's really, really well. Thank you guys. Thank you, Ariana. Um, I don't know what's going on with that address there though. Alrighty. So what do I need here? I need to take this color that I have here. I think I will take this one right here. We're going to take this green. I want just a little bit more yellow too. Kind of this yellow here. Okay, and we're just going to put this kind of in the forefront here. Okay, a little bit more of this, a little bit more of this. It is springtime after all, and you're going to see these colors more than anything in spring. These kind of lighter. There we go. Do this too quickly, you're going to not like the result. I'm going to move individual bushes here. And remember not to take out the darkness. Without the darkness, the light has no meaning. All right. I am not going to advise any way on that one. Okay. It being spring, a little of this red in here. There. A tiny little bit more. Too much, and it just won't look right. Okay. And just maybe, just a tiny, ooh. Yeah, just a tiny bit. Too much of this, and you won't like it very much very, very quickly. Because you will have set your painting on fire. Okay. So, here's kind of our spring tree. And of course, no painting is complete without a signature. So I'm going to take my small, very small dagger brush, which has, see if you can see it a little bit better here. Ooh, wrong way. So you can see one end of the bristles, this end over here, is got shorter versus longer. That's why it's called a dagger brush. It kind of, alrighty. Going to need a nice color to stand out from here. So what I think I'm going to do is you take a bit of this paint thinner here. This is mineral oil. Okay. Remember that a thick paint or a thin paint will stick to a thick paint. So that almost doesn't show up at all. I need more titanium white in it. I'm sorry, I bet my arms my shoulders in the way there, isn't it? Sorry about that. Here we go. A little bit more. Okay. Need to straighten that out. There's one. And finally, oh, did someone gift you a sub there? Greek Greco-Greek? Greek Greco-Greek? Oh, come on, man. You got to admit that your name is hard to say sometimes. All right. Of course, sometimes the problem with this smaller brush, and the reason I don't use it that much, is that it really does not hold a whole lot of paint. But that's okay. Alrighty. That's one signature. G3. Alrighty. Now that is going to be painting one. If you guys give me a second, I am going to switch over to the next one. Give me one moment. Okay. Boy, it looks like we haven't even started yet. Well, we better get going here. We're already, what, 34 minutes into the stream and I haven't even started yet? What the heck? Alrighty. As per last time, get to start off. Cobalt blue, phthalo blue. Oh, I lied. I don't start off with that. I need to put some of this liquid clear on here. This clear oil liquid. Whoopsie. Happens every now and then. I forgot to secure that down. Why, hello. Oh, thank you for 60 followers. Thank you very much. Hello to, I'm just going to call you Evelyn. Evelyn MVT. Well, thank you very much for joining us. Doing a little bit of painting today. Now, I started off It's a painting that is hard to see here because of the cam here. This is the first painting of these four. I am doing all four seasons. Alrighty. Liquid clear, putting it on here. I'm picking up a little bit of the mauve that I had earlier up there. I am going to remove that from up here, but other than that, a little bit of mauve up at the top there is not going to make or break this painting. Alrighty. Oh, that was quite a bit. You put too much on here and the paint will just not stick right. It will kind of mold in different places. Well, not mold, but kind of pile up in different places. And it just doesn't feel right when you're painting it. Part of you is like, you know what, this ain't working for me. You need a very, very thin layer of this stuff for this particular application of wet on wet painting. That is the true if you start with a more of a white base, like a very, very thin white. It is true if you use a very dark base, like say a black thin color, or anywhere in between. I know on this particular, on Twitch here, I have shown how I do I see. Ooh, my goodness. A little bit too much on that. My bad. Okay. A little bit too much green on that. Not that that's a big deal. Chocolates. Oh my. Oh my. There we are. Apply just a little bit more of that liquid. Okay. With that, we move on. I am just going to wash this paintbrush just ever so slightly. That way it'll be ready for the next painting. Okay, starting off with the sky then. So I'm going to wipe my hands off real quick. We got the blues. Ooh, ooh, a bit too much there. Oh my, that is a very blue sky. Let us take some of that paint off of there, and we'll just move that over here. Don't worry, we'll make that one work for us. All right. Oh, I suppose. No, I don't think I am. Okay. Just double checking on something. Everything's fine. Okay. As again, remember, I am at work, so I do actually have to make sure that I work on an ambulance. So if I'm needed, I need to go, and I will go. And we'll finish this another time. Again, the nice thing about this is that it is oil paint. And oil paint takes a long time to dry. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and make some crisscross patterns like this. It kind of melds it in with that liquid clear that we put in. Thank you, mods. Kind of knew that was coming. Alrighty, and we'll just kind of there we are. Just give it a nice once over just to take out some of these brush strokes. Okay. just like last time. Next step, this goes down here, is them clouds. Now, for this particular one, we are going to take just a little bit of this red. We're going to mix that red in here. You see, it gives it just kind of a light pink. Okay. We have just the corner here. I'm going to fill in where these clouds are at. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Kitty. Welcome in. Thank you. Just coming in and doing some painting here. I got one of my mods to give a shout out to Kitty while she is here. Kitty's a friend of the channel. If you guys haven't had a chance to, please go ahead and check her streams out. She does cartoons in the morning. And give her a follow. Believe me, she is more than worth it. Thank you. Isn't it great that everyone knows each other in this space? It's hard to go anywhere without knowing, at least finding at least some one person that knows you or you know them. At least on here. All right. I have a brand new 2-inch brush here. My goodness, that is hard to see at that angle, isn't it? My bad. That is true. That is true. She does do on a Friday night. Kitty does have a Euro dance party going on. You probably see me hanging out for at least a little bit. Just gonna take the bottom corner of this brush here. We're just going to fluff out these clouds. We're just barely mixing them in here. Mix them in too much, well, you ain't got clouds anymore. Now you just got a bit of a light sky. And sometimes that is what you're going for. Here, I'm gonna take the other side now and just fluff up this. Fluff this up a bit. I'm gonna pull this up, fluff up these clouds. A little bit of a brush stroke there, or a piece of brush there. Okay, then lightly, ever so lightly, because we're dealing with some places 3 to 4 layers of paint back here. We're talking about 2 hairs and some air. At least not right here, but where we're dealing with these. So we're just trying to take out them brush strokes. Just a barely. Just to take it out. That. Now we can get ourselves some fluffy clouds. Lots and lots of paint up at the top here. Just it's almost like more of a thought than a touch. That gives us our clouds. Oh yeah? All right. Now, let's work a little bit on that mid distance. Right down into here. Starting right about in this area here, moving down. What we need to do is, again, we're taking a 2-inch brush. Now, take a little bit more of this white. Need a little bit more depth in it this time. Okay, so we started up here. Okay, now I mean, it's not going to be exactly the same. That would be quite impressive to do the exact same. Remember not to kill all your dark areas or all your light areas. How else are you going to show depth? Okay, I'm going to take some of the black. Move the black in. So we're going to darken it up. We're going to create the illusion of depth. A little bit more of this black here. I may need to go and grab some more black, but not quite yet. By the end, I bet you I will. All right. Ooh. I'm going to put it down and bring it up. There we go. Okay. And take off most of the paint off of this. We're just going to, a little bit too much. Let's take a little bit more of this paint off of here and lift. Just lift. There we are, just filling in here and there. There we go. Okay. It's a good question. Who does fill up the gas tank? Alrighty. I think it is time that we are done with that and we move on to the tree trunk itself. This is this brown right here. Same as before. Start up at the top here. And look at that. There's the tree that we knew was there all along. Okay. More of this brown here. There. Hope everyone's day is still going okay. Anyone got any plans for later this evening? I've heard a little bit about some people. Does anyone else have anything interesting that they're doing this evening, or is everyone just chilling this evening? Let's see, we got one coming up this way. Coming up this way. Just chilling. Well, I know that you're streaming too, quite possibly there, right, Kitty? You are streaming tonight, correct? And then this probably comes up like a so. Yep, tonight, yeah. I thought so. You know, I like to tune into your stream on a Friday evening. Week wouldn't be complete without it. Okay. Let's move some of these paintbrushes around so I can actually get to them. What I'm using here is an odorless paint thinner. Mineral Spirits is what I'm using. It says it's odorless, but depending on who you talk to, It's not quite odorless. It's quite odorful compared to if you'd ask the right or the wrong person. Now, colors of summer. What is everyone's favorite colors in the summertime? I know I particularly like yellows, oranges, reds. I understand about that, wanting to catch Kitty's dream. Um, let's go ahead and grab my knife here. Now, I don't think we have too much of this lighter one left here, so let's mix some more. Okay, just again, a little bit on the edge of the knife. Just let the canvas take what it needs. Remember that a lot of this is going to be covered by the grass and the bushes that are here. There we go. A little bit of highlights here and there. Oh, looks like it's a bit of an ad break there. For those of you that haven't subscribed, please remember to give me a follow. I'll just wait for. I believe that it is an ad break, but I'm not sure. But please give me a follow if you haven't. I would really appreciate it. I am very new to Twitch here and very new to streaming. I'm just not very new to painting. I am new to people watching me while I'm painting, though. That is definitely a new one for me. I'm usually by my own self. Okay. Now, this time, we're going to take some more of this burnt umber and Van Dyke brown. Just these two. Maybe a little bit of this green here too. Yeah, a little bit of the greens. And potentially a little bit of this crimson red too. Alrighty. We need to fill in the darkness here. All that lovely sky we just put in. All that beautiful, beautiful sky. While we're at it, might as well block in the bottom here too. Might as well. Alright. It's summertime. Things are. Oh, there it is. There is the ad break. So I'm going to take that ad break and go ahead and wash these brushes. Oh, it gets dark around 4. You must live further north than I am. And I'm pretty far north. Well, relatively, I suppose. It's the furthest I've ever been. Oh, thank you, Kitty. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I honestly, I never know what to say when someone gifts me a sub. It's, I don't know. I don't know. It's just something very special. Now, don't mind me. I'm just cleaning off my paintbrushes here. I end up with a lot of paintbrushes that are uh, half used, a little bit of oil in here and there. Um, I unfortunately only have so many 1-inch brushes, and I do end up using a lot of them a lot of the time. So I just have a screen on the bottom of a trash can, is what you can hear me doing in there. Okay, now that we have this dark background, I'm going to take that same brush here, take a little bit of this green, mix it in with this mauve, with a bit of the white, titanium white. Okay, a little bit of each of these, and then I need more brightness here. And we'll take some of this blue and the white. That is more of the color that I am looking for. And a little bit of each of these. There we are. This is giving us another kind of a layer of color here. Oh, and we're going to absolutely sizzle them later with some really vibrant colors. Oops. Some vibrant colors later. Got to hit something that is rather dull in order for you to compare and contrast it to. Time to take some of this light mauve. And here's the problem. It is too thick. So, thing with paints are too thick, you thin them down. There's a thin paint, as you can see, will stick. Need some more of this mauve. Okay. I think I set that down. Use one of these freshly cleaned. A little bit of the paint thinner, just a little. Oh boy, a bit too much. Let's get that off of there. Bit too much there. You get this mauve nice and thin. And we're just going to add a little bit of here and there. Okay, a little bit more. This painting and most of the ones that I paint here on Twitch will be available on my Etsy store. Still working on getting that set up. It is a difficult process, to say the least, especially for someone that is new to this area, new to this space. Now, you can see kind of moving on here, getting some nice colors here.
Bruce, you better wait here. I'll be back in 10 minutes.
Even 10 minutes is a long time to be away from you.
So, a little bit of highlights here and there. And finally, we need to work down to the base here. Bring you down to my level here. I am going to need another 1-inch brush. Just going to take this here, really lighten it up. A little bit of the sap green. Okay. All right. Just putting in some bushes here. Maybe a little bit more. That violet purple is very pretty, thank you. Back off just a little bit there so you can see the rest of what I'm doing here. Sorry about that. Okay, get a little bit of this blue. Stem with this yellow, or orange, I should say. The blue and with this yellow. A little bit more of the brighter yellow. Unfortunately, I end up using a lot of bright yellow. Oops. There we are. Okay. Let's get this mixed in here. Okay. And we just kind of put it in here and you lift. Yeah, I got a little bit too much paint on this paintbrush. There we go. Okay. Then we'll thin down this yellow I just put down. There we are, sending it up there. I'm going to put in some white there, or yellow there. Eventually you just kind of get a mishmash when it comes to the yellow. There. Okay. And with that, I do believe we have our summertime. Although I do have quite an orange there. A little bit of red here and there. A little bit of this white in here. And give a little bit of pink to this crimson red. Or alizarin crimson. And then we can do some pink in this tree. Ah, yes. Bet you didn't know that this tree is so multicolored, huh? Here we are. All right, now we just need a signature. All right. Signature. I'm going to grab a little bit of a thicker of a dagger brush this time. You have a look. This one's a little thicker. Take, let's see, what should we do it in here? Could probably do it in the mauve again. A bit more of this. Here. All right. Thin paint will stick to a thick paint. Excuse me. Okay. A little bit more. All right. And at that, we have a signature. We have a finished second painting. And you can see where the bare bones of kind of a spring ends into a summer. All right. If everyone could give me just a moment, I need to go ahead and switch canvases around and stuff. We can start on painting number 3. Give me one moment, please. Okay, and we are back. And as you can see, we've barely even begun. We have spring, we have summer. It is time for a little bit of fall, also known as autumn. But as per usual, we have to start off by wetting down the canvas. So we take this again. I am off this weekend. Is there anyone else that is off this weekend? Or are you all working this weekend? What's this weekend hold for everybody? Oh, wow. Everyone best be on their best behavior. My mother and my brother have now joined the stream too. Hey guys, how's it going? Today I am painting 4 different paintings of which are the exact same painting. I painted this one first. That is the springtime. Then I painted this one here, which is summertime. We are just about to start painting the autumn now. This one is where we start getting a little bit more delicate and integral when we get to the tree. But we're not quite there yet because you have to start at the beginning, which is the sky. Find my sky brush. Go ahead and we'll just clean this off and we'll use this as my sky brush. Mm-hmm. Do you guys, anyone here have what's your favorite fall color? I happen to really like the crimson, the alizarin crimson, red, and yellowish colors, the yellow ochres, and especially when it comes to the leaves that are around. Okay, I am going to use a 1-inch brush here, and I'm just going to take the phthalo blue. I'm going to put it on nice and gentle. Phthalo blue, if you remember, is very, very translucent, or transparent. You can see straight through it for the most part. There's a lot of pigment in here. There we are. I got this nice and got a blue hue to it down here. There we go. And then we just need to blend this in here. Get rid of most of this where it is a bit too dark and just thin it out maybe just a little bit in order to blend it. There we are. Something not unlike that. Burnt umber, yeah, that's a good one. Good one that's that you see. I do like me some burnt umber. Anybody else have a favorite when it comes to autumn colors or fall colors? Alrighty. While we're thinking about that, I'm going to go ahead and just smooth this out a bit. And it's mostly just taking out brush strokes. Maybe blend it in a bit because remember, we're not done. We still have purples and rusty red. Cerulean. Dandelion yellow. Oh boy. All very, very good colors, especially for that time of year, this time of year. Okay. Gonna go ahead and again, take some of this titanium white over here. Not too much though, because again, we're just putting this in as clouds here. What we're going to do is take the corner. Okay, a little bit more. Don't have to worry too much about covering up your tree here because we already know what it looks like. We've seen it before. It's all over the wall. You're probably wondering, like, why would I bother with most of these clouds here? You won't be able to see it in the finished product. Will you though? That's just it. Do you want a part of your painting that you can see canvas in the background if you happen to miss it in a place? I don't know. Okay. Some of these extra bristles out of here. This is unfortunately a brand new paintbrush that I'm using, so brand new paintbrushes tend to have a lot of bristles that come off until you've used it a few times. The one nice thing about lots and lots of bristles like this is it gives it kind of a unique pattern to it. Okay, really start blending this in now. Okay, when it comes to this, go ahead, just 2 hairs and some air. And give us a nice, fluffy, wispy even, cloud cover. Okay. All right. Next, you got that mid-ground to go yet? Now though, things are starting to wind down this year, this time of year, right? So let's take a little bit, just a little bit of this sap green and mix it in this Indian yellow. This is what we're gonna have right here in the background. You know, I'm just gonna lighten this up just a little bit with a little titanium white, just a little bit. Okay. Well, if it comes in about here, go ahead and put this in here like so. I myself don't have too much planned for the weekend. It is odd that I do have a weekend off, but it is what it is. As some people who I know are in chat like to say is their favorite saying, happens to be one of mine too. Odd that, isn't it? You can almost say it's generational. All right. Let's go ahead and just drag this up in a straight line. Okay. Yeah. Take some more of this yellow ochre, excuse me, not ombre, ochre. We're going to darken it down just a little bit. A bit of this blue here. Make it a little bit more green. Maybe a little bit of this cobalt blue too. Ooh. Alrighty. And we got our second layer here. get a little bit more of this blue in here. Need to darken it down just a little bit more here. There we go. For this side. There we go. There we go. Oh. Now, for those of you that don't know, maybe I'll tell you a little bit of a story here since we are just painting away here. Those of you that aren't aware, and I used to do a different job. And that job was I used to work as a machinist. Well, not a full-blown machinist, but a machinist helper, I suppose you could say, a machine operator, I believe was my official title. And unfortunately, I ended up having an accident where I crushed my hand. And I broke one of the bones in one of my fingers, and my pointing finger on my left hand. I unfortunately needed to take time off of work because of that, in order for that to heal. And that is actually sitting at home wondering what I should do with myself, is where I really started to get into and make friends here on Twitch. So if it wasn't for my broken hand, I never would have made it here. And y'all would never be able to see any of my paintings. So sometimes negative things can turn positive. Because I most certainly believe that coming here and meeting everyone here has been a positive force in my life. Just because something goes bad in your life, remember that your choices are half chance, just like everyone else's. Okay. That is very true too. I understand that the statement that I just made, of course, is my own experience, and your experience may be different. I'm just saying sometimes positive things come from negative experiences. That's not the case every time, of course, though. What's important, though, is that we just keep going. I believe there's a poem that comes to mind there about raging against the dying of the light. Though not go quietly into that good night, I believe. All right. Got a good tree trunk going on there now. See if I can bring you in a little bit to get that glare off. It's one of the bad things about working with oil. So sometimes if you can't get the light just right, it can be a bit difficult to see. So, all right. Now it's fall time. So, need to take this dark brown and this black. We need to fill in Don't kill all the light. And don't kill all the dark either. We just covered up all those clouds. We worked so close on. There we are. And we're going to dark in the bottom here too. All right. Now, get one of my really, really nice, really good 1-inch brushes, and we're going to really go to town on this here in a second. Want to thank everyone for joining in today. Please don't forget to give me a follow if you could. If you like my content here, you can always support me with a subscription. Would be nice, some bits, but that's about as much as I'm going to say about it. Honestly, I'm amazed that people would actually like that I paint. I don't know. I'm going to take some of this cadmium light red hue and mix it with some of these yellows. You think, oh, now he's done it. Now he's really done it. Have I? Just putting in some fall colors here and there. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. I don't know if I would call it magic, but okay. I don't know what to say when people say things like that, other than just thank you. I'll go ahead and put some more down in here. We're actually in the middle of fall right now. That's what they tell me. I don't know if I believe them. It's quite cold out there. Well, not in the middle, I suppose. We're at the end of autumn or fall. There we go. Okay, we're going to take some of this red here, and this is the really, really red one. Put this on too much, and it will set your painting on fire. But we don't need to do more than just some highlights here and there. Real nice and gentle and sparing with this. As you can see, it's starting to look a lot like fall. All right. Okay. And of course, the more I do this, the more and more my hands turn color. It's great. It's great. You're a wizard, Harry. Thank you very much there. Okay. Let's take a little bit more of this paint thinner here. Since we're dealing with a number of layers of paint, we're going to take more of this yellow. Take a little bit of this titanium white to give a little bit of body, or else it's going to really fade in the background here. We just need few sparklers here. Something just to give us something to contrast against. How about that? All right. And with that, I think the tree's looking pretty good. Now it's time to bring it down to the bottom where we do our last little few bushes here and there. Gotta take some of this olive green here and really mix it in with the white. Give us kind of a little bit light olive green. And give us a backdrop in which to work with here. Okay. Thin down some of this, more of this yellow. And mix in a little bit of the red and yellow ochre. Nice and thin. Stick to the paint. The thick paint here at the bottom. All right. Here we go. A little bit more of this. A little bit more of this red too on the ends. There we are. And we take some more of this green here. Mix it in. And there we are. And that gives us our fall looking. There we are. Just a little bit of this here and there. It being fall. Alrighty. So, oh, and before we forget, need a little bit of, where's my dagger brush? There it is. And we'll just go ahead and mix it in with this here. It's lovely red. Almost light orange, but a little bit of the permanent red in there, just a little bit. Okay. There we are. Need a little bit lighter to show up. There we go. a little bit more here to get this in, and we'll get the final of the signature. There we are. All right. And that completes number 3. Now we just have to do the wintertime one. That may be the hardest one of all to do. But to give you guys a better look at this entire painting, there we are. Alrighty. Give me a moment, and I will get our last canvas on the easel. Well, guys, unfortunately, something has come up here as I am at work. Let me just switch that over to this. That way we can get that out of the way. I am going to have to get going. I do thank you for joining me today. We will finish off this last one on another time, probably in a week, maybe 2, depending on. It should be next week. I want y'all to be safe. I want y'all to have a good time and be nice to each other. Be considerate of each other. I'm just seeing if there's someone here that we might be able to. Yes. We are going to raid out to someone I just met this morning, who is another artist. It's called Art by Marl. So they are also another artist. I'm not quite sure what they're running into right today, but they will be doing some art here, I believe. Please remember, like I said, to take care of each other, to take care of yourself. Thank you very much. Please don't forget to give me a follow, and we'll see you guys next week, or actually tomorrow. The wife and I, Fidget and I, will be playing Power World around this same time. So feel free to join us in for a little bit of gaming. But other than that, everyone have a good day and be safe. Thank you very much, guys.